Unbelievable. This whole experience is bigger than anything I've ever witnessed, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. Well, Rob Marshall invited me to come over and talk to him about the possibility of making it, and so I met him and John DeLuca, the producer, and within 15-20 minutes of talking together, it just felt right. I felt like we were talking about the same film that we loved and the same film we wanted to make. So the biggest challenge for us was to find a reason for Mary Poppins to come back. It had to be a good one, and it was only when we realized that if we set the film during the Depression, which was when the original books were written, we could have Jane and Michael Banks return as grown-ups. And grown-ups forget a lot about that magic that they experience when they're young, and they've forgotten for various reasons what it was like to be that age. And it's time for Mary to come back and help them remember some of that magic that they've lost. I worked with Mark and Scott constantly, and it was really a wonderful process. I'd never written a musical before, but they've written many, and so I trusted them. We created the story together, 5 of us: Mark, John, Rob, and Scott, all sitting around talking about the story we wanted to create, and they would get to a point where they'd say, "I think that's a song." And then it was my job just to kind of write what I thought was happening during that song, but I trusted that they knew their part of things, and I focused on the story. I got to say, Triple Little Light Fantastic is absolutely overwhelming. It's such an exciting song, dance number. It pulls out all the stops. It was an amazing experience to watch and to see here now. I think that it comes along at a time in our lives when all of us can use being reminded about joy and hope and getting through troubled times. Really, that's the message that Mary Poppins brings for the first time and when she returns. And so I think most everyone who sees it leaves with a smile on their face. Unbelievable, unbelievable. The cast is more than you could have dreamed of having, and of course it's because Rob Marshall is so respected for his work in musicals, and because then when Emily Blunt joins in and Lin-Manuel Miranda does, suddenly Meryl Streep does too, and then the list goes on and on and on. I mean, the cast: Ben Whishaw, Emily Mortimer, fantastic. Everett Colin Firth. I mean, you can go pretty deep in that roster without anyone, with everyone knowing every name and loving their work. So it's an incredible opportunity. I think watching them rehearse it and put it together and having that moment where you think, this is going to work. This is it. This is really going to work. Before all the lights and the sets and the costumes and all of them are fantastic, to see that everyone is making the same story and understands it is a tremendous feeling. It was overwhelming.